Düsseldorf was once defined by industry, manufacturing and the working class communities that helped build modern Germany. For decades, factories, warehouses and trade powered the city's growth and shaped its identity. Today, much of that world has disappeared. In its place stands a wealthier, more globalized city, one marked by luxury developments, international investments and rapidly changing demographics. Neighborhoods that were once overwhelmingly German have become increasingly diverse, with Arab, Turkish, Asian and other immigrant communities leaving a visible mark on the city's streets and culture. Supporters see a thriving multicultural success story, while critics argue that the transformation has come with rising cost, the erosion of local traditions, and growing questions about integration and social cohesion. In this video, we'll explore how Düsseldorf has changed, who benefits from that change, and what was lost along the way. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Düsseldorf in North Rhine-Westphalia, the northwest of Germany, close to the Netherlands. Believe it or not, here in Düsseldorf, you've got about 40+% with a migration background living in this city of just around 500,000 people. And today, we're going to do a deep dive and show you the side of Düsseldorf that doesn't get shown very often to the public. So join us on an adventure here in Düsseldorf. Around here at the Hauptbahnhof, you've got literally nothing but junkies pretty much lined up everywhere. Insane. The whole station is surrounded by them. Wow. Wow, this is disgusting. Unbelievable. This is what Germany has become, really, in 2026. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Oh, everything smells awful.
Yeah.
This
Obviously,
is disgusting.
the main station areas in every single European country and in America as
They've
well
all gone to crap.
are really bad, but I do remember a time when it wasn't like this here.
Not that long ago as well.
Obviously not. It's never been the cleanest part of Düsseldorf, but
Look at this.
this is a different state.
This is an open air toilet. This is all piss. You can smell it. I wish you guys were able to smell what this smells like, because man, this is bad. Here we go, guys. You know, beautiful. One of the wealthiest cities in Germany, by the way. Buildings completely trashed. This area in general is quite disgusting. Very disheartening to see Germany in this place, in this way, I guess. Very, very sad indeed.
This general area here, by the way, is also my last spot of living in Germany. It's this general area. So
here we go, another homeless gentleman struggling to literally get around the city. We're just going under an underpass here, and every wall is sprayed to hell, stickered to hell, garbage again just lining up the streets. Oh man, stinks like crazy. Shattered glass, beautiful. We're on our way now into an area that's known as Oberbilk, or the Maghrebi quarter of the city. Now it's kind of split into two, so you've got the main station, which we're kind of just passing under the tracks here at the moment, and it's kind of split in half. So towards this direction that we're walking is the Maghrebi quarter, the Arab quarter, the Turkish quarter, Syrian, etc. And behind us here,
there's the Japanese quarter. So we actually have a quite interesting situation in the city of Düsseldorf, because we have the largest community of Japanese expats living in Düsseldorf itself, so at least
in all of Europe, I think.
I believe it's like the second largest in Europe. I believe London might be a little bit bigger, but it's like one of the largest Japanese communities outside of Japan in Europe. The statistics is very interesting, because all of those Japanese people in the year of 2023 have committed 2 crimes. And if you compare that, for example, with other groups, like for example the group of Algerians in Germany, I believe they have committed something like 1,700 crimes. So yeah, migration doesn't equal migration. You have to keep that in mind. Not everybody's culture is equally I guess suitable with some European other cultures.
Yeah, cultures are not equal, guys. This is something that is not being said enough. There's nothing comparable between German culture and Afghani culture. The same goes for every other nation that is rushing in here. The main reason that a lot of them are rushing in here is for social welfare. Everything speaks to that, so please keep that in mind. It's not because they envy German culture and they want to integrate into it. It's not that at all. The World Cup is coming soon, and because of the World Cup coming, it's all of a sudden okay in Germany to be proud of German flag, the German flag, national pride. It's all of a sudden okay. You'll see a lot of advertisements around Germany at the moment with the flag, with people wearing the jerseys. As soon as that World Cup is over and up on the run up to this World Cup, people were getting arrested for flying Germany flags. So please, if you do see this, if you are in Germany and you think, oh wow, these people are proud, you're not allowed to be proud in Germany. Far from it. You're actually told to not be proud at every angle of your life, in fact from birth.
Also at the same time, I just saw a picture there of the German team departing towards America, and not a single German flag was seen in the entire picture. The entire team, all of the trainers, all of the people that like the physios and so on, not a single German flag was seen in the entire picture. And if you compare that to other pictures across the world, every single one of them you see nothing but national pride. It is so interesting here in Düsseldorf because, as we said, on both sides of the main station there are different communities living, and they're also integrated in different ways and with a different percentage, so to speak. So, for example, the Japanese people, they came here, they learned the language, they have their own shops the exact same way as any other community as well, but the integration worked really, really different. Obviously, they learned the language, and they don't really, I don't know, they just kind of keep to themselves. They're not causing any issues. I never had an issue with a Japanese person in the city of Düsseldorf, and I lived here for about 29 years, or on the outskirts of Düsseldorf. I lived for about 29 years, and then on this side of the main station it's a completely different situation. I personally had lots and lots of issues here with different people from different backgrounds, but just to show you guys how different it is, because Immermannstraße, where the Japanese people live, the area is quite nice, it's quite clean. We're going to show that to you as well later in this video, and it's very much looked after, and it mixes well with the German people, with the German communities that are living around this area as well. And now when we go to the other side, it's not looked after, it doesn't integrate, it doesn't mix well, and a lot of social welfare is being pumped into those areas in order to facilitate integration efforts, basically, which is something that is to a certain extent good if you're trying to integrate the people, but if that takes over and has a negative effect on the communities, on the local communities that are living here, that are just trying to go about their life, obviously that creates an issue.
A lot of the businesses around here as well, mom and pop shops closed up, done. So a lot of the chains, those are the ones that were allowed to stay open during pandemic and everything else. So you will see sort of a heavy influx of big chains in all of the cities, because that's kind of the thing that they want. They want all of the cities in Europe to feel the same. Every European Union city, whether it's Düsseldorf, Berlin, Hamburg, anywhere else in Spain, in Italy, in France, Portugal, they want them all to blend and feel the same. And it's quite literally like this concept of Babel, where everybody is just not speaking the same language, no one can communicate with each other, and everybody is divided. It's very much what I'm seeing here in Düsseldorf. So here you've got two food trucks One food truck is a Turkish food truck and the other one is a Lebanese food truck. So if you don't want Turkish food or Lebanese food while you're in Germany, you're out of luck. Across the road you've got Syrian market, and then over here you've got an Arabic jeweler. Beautiful. So all in all, across the road again you have another doner kebab store. You've got Lamajun. Everything really. Here's the Shahba Mart, an Arabic market. See, like, this is what's very confusing to me. Yeah. Arabic only signs. So this is what's very confusing to me. When people say diversity is our strength, diversity needs to be accepted into Europe. At what point do the entire streets, every street, becomes the same thing? So when you have an entire district, an entire area that becomes taken over and you no longer have local German businesses, how is that the strength of Germany? How, when you push out mom and pop shops from German families that have probably been there for decades, some of them probably all the way back till the early 1900s, before Germany got annihilated during World War II, which is kind of the whole reason why Germany has been told to never be proud of who they are. None of the people currently around in Germany have anything to do with that, but they are the ones that have to suffer at the hands of the diversity. It blows my mind. It's actually astounding to me. And every shop that we've walked past, quite literally every single store, it's either a large chain store or it's a Habibi market, fruit market from God knows where. The streets as well are absolutely filthy and everything smells like pee.
The majority of people that arrived in 2015 were obviously Syrians and Afghanis, and all of them are receiving citizenship and their papers this year. And the last group, as of last year, because obviously the numbers for 2026 are not out yet, so the largest group of people in 2025 that received the German passport were of Syrian origin, because then obviously the 10 years were over and then they can receive the documents, but the majority of them didn't give away their original nationality, so they all kept also the Syrian passport. And now that they have received the German passport, they can bring their family to the country as well, and then we're gonna have a look how it's going to develop. It's gonna be very interesting sort of in the next 1 to 2 years, because that's when all of the families are going to come and resettle here as well.
So we're just here at the intersection of Ellerstrasse and this here is Kolnerstrasse. And at this very intersection, I just did like a little kind of 180 degree pan, just to show you guys the variety of the diversity of the stores that are here in Dusseldorf. You've got Emily Dress, which is an Arabic dress store. You've got next to that you have another business which is
translation and services.
Translation
for,
services
Arabic, French, German.
For Arabic, French, and German, but the sign itself is Arabic. Across the road, you've got the Baraka Markt. Next to that, you've got Al Quds Baklava, very German business, of course. Again, Arab sign. And you've got Shero Jeweler, which has 2 mannequins in the window, both of them with hijabs. Also Arabic, full Arabic. The sign next to that, again, 3 mannequins, all 3 of them wearing hijabs, full Arabic sign. And that kind of completes the 180, you know? Plenty of diversity, Arab only diversity here in Dusseldorf. So 1 mannequin with a hijab, 2, 3 mannequins, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Every single mannequin in this store has a hijab. These ones here don't even have heads.
Very traditional German clothing.
Very traditional German clothing, yes. Just 2 seconds from where the other store was, we have another one. So 1, 2, 3, 4 again. Every single one, every single mannequin covered up very...
in Germany now where we even have vegetarian dinner.
There's vegetarian dinner. Wow, inclusive. Ah, wow. We've managed to find a very large masjid or a mosque here.
You know, just different countries. And
so Düsseldorf has the reputation, I guess, a very, very good reputation, believe it or not. So this is the funny part. Berlin has a reputation for being dirty. Like, it's the rave capital. Everybody goes there, you take pills, you go to like these sex bars and whatever. They put tape over your phone. It's all weird. People are very kinky. Düsseldorf has a reputation for being like wealthy, kind of posh. Everyone has money. Not this. Dudes driving around blasting Arabic music, spray paint, fucking garbage everywhere. And this is an entire district, an entire area of Düsseldorf. Look at this shit here. Stadtbild.
And that side of Düsseldorf also does exist, but we are going back to the situation. We're going back to the situation where entire society is being created with different pay grades, with different socioeconomical backgrounds, where it's not anymore a homogeneous society where people are coming from same perspectives or can look each other into the eyes on the same level. But a sub-society is being created, as it is in pretty much any other European society at the moment, and obviously therefore then you lose all of the shishi that Düsseldorf once carried.
Whole area of Düsseldorf, and also a lot of the other smaller cities that are surrounding Düsseldorf. There's a lot of industrial history connected to this area of Germany, and that's kind of what's made it historically working class. So you've got Düsseldorf, you've got places like Solingen, you've got Wuppertal, you've got Essen. A lot of these places very historically have always been sort of the coal backbone of the industry of Germany, the places that have fueled a lot of Germany, built a lot of Germany. If you want to think of what a lot of these cities are reminiscent of, if you're American, this is kind of the Rust Belt of Germany. So Pittsburgh, Detroit, a lot of these types of places in the US, this is kind of like what this area that we're in right now of Germany, this is what that is. This is what it represents. And pretty much you can point at any city around here and they have a very similar background. And that obviously means housing is historically cheaper, and that attracts people that want cheap housing, migrants from places like Turkey, etc., looking for a better life opportunity and a way, I guess, to survive. But that doesn't necessarily mean that a lot of the people that come in to these cheaper, more affordable places, that they actually blend in and integrate into the society. A lot of times it's more just the creation of a microcosm. And then you have your own break-off community areas, like we're showing you guys right now, where you literally have like parallel economies running side by side to each other.
Now, Luke has already told you about all of these industries in the state of North Rhine-Westphalia that kind of created jobs and more affordable housing and so on. But one thing that has to be mentioned with those industries, the steel industry, the metal, the coal and so on, in the 60s here in Germany we had a program that is called Gastarbeiter program. So if you wanted to translate it literally, it would be a guest worker program where for a long time people from foreign countries used to be shipped to Germany in order to work in those industries, because in the 60s, for obvious reasons, shortly after the war, we had a lot of industry but not so many people that actually could work in the industry, because shortly after the war a lot of people had died and there was just not that many people to work other than women and children. So a lot of people were shipped here from the likes of Turkey, for the likes of Greece, from Albania, from whatever it might be. And the majority of those people, and that was exactly what that program was designed for, the majority of the people, for example, from Greece, they stopped working and then they went back home. That was the program. The people from Albania as well, Greek people, Albanian people, all of the European people, Christian people, they all retired at some stage and they went back home. But then obviously a lot of other people kind of abused that system and stayed. So a lot of the Turkish community, the Kurdish communities, these types of people, they stayed and then started creating their own sub-communities. More and more people started moving to Germany as well, and that's why it is now where it is. And if you actually hear the ex-German chancellor that had implemented that system, if you hear his speeches, he said it was never intended to be designed this way. It was intended to be in a very, very different way, and obviously it was never executed the way it was intended. So here we are today.
Fascinating. So they have a sign that says you're not allowed a knife, you're not allowed a gun, you're not allowed pepper spray. Now I know Europeans, especially European women, they're not allowed to protect themselves, just in case if you're about to be raped or whatever. God forbid, raging alcoholic there. God forbid that you have pepper spray to protect yourself in the event of something like that. It's absolutely hilarious though that they put these signs up and they just think that all of the people that actually carry these types of weapons, the people that have guns, that have knives, that have bad intentions, they're still going to do it. They don't care about your sign. The regular population and the public here, German public, they will go by and abide by those signs and by all of that stuff because it is the law. You're not allowed to have that stuff. But the people who want to commit acts of terror or anything bad on the streets of these German cities, they're not going to abide by them. And the German government genuinely believes that these signs are going to deter somehow these types of things from happening.
But that's exactly what I meant when I said some of these cultures do not go in hand and they don't work with each other, because a German is going to see that and go, I can't have a knife, so I won't bring a knife or a glass bottle or whatever. Another person is going to see that and just continue walking with their knife anyway, and that's just two different societies, two different norms. It just doesn't work with each other. Now, if you order yourself a Schweinebrötchen, you're going to get pork with some Krautsalat on a white roll, and it's very, very important that you're going to ask for the crispy skin on top of that as well. And then you have this beautiful concoction. Schweinejannis has been an institution in Düsseldorf for a very long time, at least for as long as I can think. So let's go. It's the juiciest, crunchiest, most satisfying experience that you can go through. And especially when you had one or two beers, this is the perfect thing to buy.
Yeah, this is probably like the perfect hangover food that you've got right here. So you've got like basically pork, you've got crispy pork, you've got sauerkraut, and then you can also add things onto it like mustard and other stuff like that. So we've managed to get ourselves, it's what's called a Schweinebrötchen, or pig bread is basically what it translates to, pork bread. And it's been years since we've had it. The last time we were here in Düsseldorf was back during the pandemic actually, around 2020, 2021. And things have changed drastically since then, but it's nice to see that this business selling this is still here, it's still functioning. It's so good.
Coming up to Pride Month this month, in the month of June, of course we will have to have the European Union, Germany, the state of North Rhine-Westphalia, and then gay. Instead of the flag of Düsseldorf, the gay flag was installed in a very prominent square directly off of the Königsallee here, which is sad to see. I don't think anybody is going to put up a Catholic flag or an Orthodox flag or anything like that anytime soon.
The LGBT mafia flag replaces the city of Düsseldorf. They've They don't have their own city flag, but they have that crap. Well, we made it to the Japanese quarter, Immermannstrasse, or you can see there's a Japanese sign basically. So they have the entire sign of the street in Japanese, and then they also have behind it in German. And then over on the other side of the street you've got two signs next to each other that have each language. So it's an interesting way to see things. And basically all through here, down through this quarter, you're going to see majoritively Japanese restaurants and the stronghold of sort of the Japanese community here in Düsseldorf. It's a fascinating place, and it is an example, I guess, of people coming over from another culture, from an entirely different culture, to a European country, and I think integrating quite well.
Now, this is exactly the opposing part to the area that we have just shown you. As you can see, it's very orderly, it's calm, it's quiet, it's clean. You have Japanese restaurants just there on the sides. I don't know, it's not like a crazy amount, it's just about, I want to say maybe 300 meters or so, where you have like German and Japanese stores intermingling, and you can also see that the customer range of those stores are also culturally exchanging with each other. So usually you can see obviously a lot of Asians live and work here, a lot of Japanese people live and work here, and they also come here to eat. And then you have lots and lots and lots of Germans coming here and enjoying everything as well. Now, I'm not undermining the argument here that Luke was trying to make, and I'm not on the side of just because it diversifies our food it's great or whatever. I'm not like that either. I'm more making the point of successful integration into cultures, causing issues, creating higher crime statistics, being good for the economy or leeching off of the economy. That's kind of the point of view, I guess, that I'm making. And coming from Düsseldorf, as I said before, never in my life have I heard of a Japanese people that is on social welfare or that is causing a societal issue. That's why I think the Japanese quarter here has its own space, and it's, as I said, it's like one street, 200 meters, and that's about it.
I hope that we've given you a little bit of an interesting look into a German city that doesn't really get explored too often here on YouTube. I'm actually currently editing the video right now. But from both of us, because we didn't really actually end the video, it's been consistently horrific weather here in Germany. But I want to remind you all, from here on the sofa of our Airbnb, Christ is King. See you in the next one.
God bless you all.
Bye-bye.